In 2008, the mortgage bubble blew a hole in the economy.
We're now down 43%.
It was the worst day on Wall Street.
In 2026, the US is quietly wiring up a new kind of financial bomb. But this time the trigger isn't houses. It's graphic processing units or GPUs and data centers. On the surface, it looks like progress. Underneath, it feels like the same old trap, just in different costume. Data center deals in 2025 crossed $61 billion. Hyperscalers, the tech giants like Alphabet, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon, are pushing the AI race at full throttle with no speed limit.
They're trying to colonize all human interaction.
In 2026, these giants are expected to pour over $500 billion into hardware, servers, and infrastructure, more than the entire GDP of countries like Switzerland or Turkey. It's the kind of number that looks impressive on an investor slide, but terrifying when you realize the state of its foundations. Sounds like a win? On paper, yeah. But that's the problem with paper. It doesn't show the cracks until it's already tearing. America's power grid has been aging for around 25 years. It wasn't built for an AI gold rush, and it's already struggling with the load we have now. While big tech builds what are basically AI factories, electricity costs for regular Americans are creeping up. Quietly at first, but then not so quietly.
This center, called Colossus, requires massive amounts of water and energy to power. And when the Memphis grid was unable to offer sufficient power, Musk installed more than 30 turbines pumping out methane gas.
Did everything behind closed doors. Who does that? Who moves to another state and can start building a power plant without pulling out a single piece of paper?
And it's environmental racism, it's environmental degradation, it's environmental injustice. It's about making them more money. I'm not making more millions or billions from XAI or OpenAI or ChatGPT. So who's really profiting?
Before we talk about how the giants could crack, let's zoom in on something smaller. One average town, one decision, and a setup that tells you everything about how this game really works. Picture this, you're the mayor of a small town. A company shows up with a big smile and even bigger plan. They want to build a massive AI data center on your land. You've got three advisors, Elon, Karen, and Warren. Elon says, say yes. Think of the jobs, think of the tax money. This is your big break. Karen says, say no. Protect the town, protect the grid, protect people's bills before they explode. Warren says, sure, agree, but make it hurt. Cut a deal where they pay to upgrade the grid and fix the pipes. Let them deal with the mess, not your residents. Which one do you pick? Drop your reply in the comments. We'll return to this at the end. For now, we follow the money behind this race. Data centers are popping up like startups in 2021, fast, everywhere, and way too confident. The question no one likes to ask is simple: where is the cash actually coming from? A new scheme is forming that feels uncomfortably close to the 2008 mortgage bubble. Back then, houses were the collateral. Now the collateral has fans, RGB lights, and a warranty. It's GPUs, video cards running AI. Here is the basic loop. Companies take out massive loans. They buy servers and chips with borrowed money. They sell investors a story about limitless AI profits just around the corner. In 2026, the giants are set to throw around $527 billion into hardware, servers, and construction. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Meta together spent over $200 billion on infrastructure in 2024-2025, roughly 62% growth in just over a year. The chart looks beautiful until you ask what's actually paying it back. Impressive? Sure. But every bubble looks impressive right before it pops. Stocks of companies building AI infrastructure jumped by roughly 44% over the past year. The profits from all that spending, though, are dragging way behind. Investors aren't really buying business models, they're buying hope. The hope that AI pays off fast enough to outrun the debt. And here's the ugly detail. GPUs age faster than cars. 2 years later, a new chip comes out and turns last year's cutting edge into a very expensive doorstop. But the debt doesn't shrink just because the tech did. Now ask the question no one on stage wants to answer. What if those fantasy trillions in AI profits never show up? Or even simpler, what if capital expenditure slows down for just 1 quarter. Goldman Sachs already warns that a slowdown in capex could slam valuations across semiconductors, hyperscalers, and even energy companies. That's not a small correction, that's a chain reaction. And the most interesting part isn't what happens to stock charts, it's what happens when that shock wave hits regular banks and the real economy, where real people actually live. Even if the money shows up, there is a big wall waiting. Physics. You can't talk your way around how much electricity the grid can push. Look at the numbers. In the summer of 2024, the US was using about 85 gigawatts. By 2031, projections jumped to around 145. That's another 60 in 7 years. Half of that growth is just data centers. AI alone could eat around 32 gigawatts, basically switching on another California. For decades, US electricity demand grew slowly, 1 to 2% a year. Slow, boring, and predictable. The grid could adapt. Now demand doesn't creep, it spikes. And this is hitting an energy system that's already been cracking for 25 years. So who pays to fix this? Big tech? Not really. Here is the catch. Big tech signs long-term contracts and lock in sweet power prices. And massive grid upgrades? Those get pushed into the rates. Everyone else pays. Amazon pays pennies on the dollar. You get the good news in the form of a higher monthly bill. The middle class and small businesses end up subsidizing the AI race. So companies like Microsoft can train their neural nets. Data centers don't pop up evenly across the map. They cluster like a swarm in places with cheap land, lax zoning, and access to lines. That creates brutal local spikes in demand. Regional transmission networks get overloaded. Blackouts stop being a glitch and start feeling like a feature. One big cluster can knock out power for an entire region. And where does it break first? Not in the glossy headquarters with backup generators, but in towns where people already fight over basic reliability. That's where residents are already hitting the streets and blocking new constructions. Look, I'm engineering manager working with AI, so I'm used to digging deep into the data. I take all those behind-the-scenes insights and put them into my free newsletter, The Blueprint. If you want the raw investigations the algorithm hates, like corporate tricks, or the math behind quitting your job, that's where they live. It costs you $0, but the value is massive. I'm doing this to help you see the bigger picture. Check out the description below. Back to data centers. While the energy system groans, investors are having a great party. But there is another layer to this fight, the social one. Data centers swallow local resources whole and leave crumbs. To the town, they look less like a partner and more like a parasite. Take a real example, Independence, Missouri. A company called Nebius wants to build a huge AI data center there. They put a big number on the table, $35 to $55 million a year in taxes. You'd expect the town to roll out the red carpet. Instead, locals went to war over the project because the details flip the story. Nebius wants heavy tax breaks, but they quietly erase most of that promised revenue. And the big ticket costs, roads, water, and grid upgrades fall on the town's shoulders. Economist Giacomo Santangelo compares building a data center to building a stadium. At least a stadium provides recurring jobs for events, vendors, and staff. $1 billion data center might leave you with 20 to 50 permanent jobs. Then there is the water problem. Every big data center guzzles millions of gallons to keep those servers from overheating. A lot of them are built in places water is already scarce. So local farmers and families end up competing with the corporation that can outbid everyone and doesn't even live there. You already know who wins that fight. So ask yourself, if a data center brings in millions in taxes on paper, but wrecks the neighborhood, inflates prices, and barely adds jobs, who's really benefiting? The residents in Independence are saying no. They are blocking the project, despite pressure from officials and promises of future money. Their fight isn't unique. There are dozens of towns like this across the US facing the same bulldozer. And still, this is just the visible part, because the AI race doesn't stop at the border. American towns might be on the front line, but the pattern is global. The race to build AI infrastructure is worldwide, and the pace is insane. Let's zoom out for a moment. By 2030, global data center capacity is expected to roughly double, using more power than all of Germany combined. Roughly half of that new capacity is projected to be gobbled up by AI alone. And the whole thing is balanced on one promise, that AI will eventually pay the bill. Global AI spending in 2025 is headed toward around $1.5 trillion. By 2026, over $2 trillion. The cash is real, the profits not so much yet. The main player in this contest is still the US. America is spending more and spending faster than anyone else. But here is the twist. In a race like this, the one who's farthest ahead also has the most to lose. If the math doesn't work out, the biggest spender takes the biggest hit. Goldman Sachs is betting that productivity gains from AI will offset the damage from higher electricity costs. So far, no analyst can put a clear date on when these trillions in investments actually turn into sustainable profit. But it's still in progress. We will see. Everyone's pointing at the horizon that keeps moving. Three loops are tightening simultaneously. Finance, a bubble built on belief instead of earnings. Energy, a grid running at the edge. And resources, cities and towns choking on someone else's growth. Everything rests on one bet, that AI will pay off before the system that feeds it starts to fall apart. So here's the real question. What if that bet doesn't land? The world built physical infrastructure on top of a digital promise, but the promise isn't an asset. But still, please understand me correctly. This can work, and we just need to keep an eye on the progress. In 2008, the housing market collapsed, taking the economy with it. In 2026, the AI chips, and whole towns are on the line. Back then, the blow felt like it came out of nowhere. This time, everyone can see the fuse burning. But no one wants to be the one to put it out. America isn't breaking because of artificial intelligence itself. It's breaking at the gap between the digital arms race and the real-world foundation holding it up. If AI doesn't start generating real trillions fast, banks can wobble. Towns can go dark. And again, it's two-sided coin. We always have to keep that in mind. Remember the little game from the beginning. You as a town mayor staring at that data center proposal. Elon says go for growth and taxes. Karen says no, shield residents. Warren says yes, but make the corporation pay. The right move here is Warren. Warren forces the company to pay for the damage it would otherwise quietly shift onto everyone else. Without tough terms, the town keeps the risk, the company keeps the profit. That's the core blueprint of this whole AI rush. So here's the last question. What shows up first? Real AI profit or a new kind of crisis? One built not on mortgages, but on chips. The bets are already on the table, folks. Tell me where you'd put your money in the comments. Check out the other videos I've posted recently. They are really solid too. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.